Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? It is fantastic to see everyone here. I see some new faces. Absolutely love to see it. Welcome to the Dating Hotline, guys, the show where you guys call in, ask any questions you guys have about relationships and dating. Here today, I'm here with my amazing host Maria. We'll be helping you guys out today. We have a little bit of a fun dynamic, right? Because we have married guy, single woman. Well, I guess not unmarried woman. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a second. Um, give you guys a little bit of a different dynamic, right? You guys want to ask a girl a question instead of a gentleman? Be my guest, right? That's what we're here for. But if you guys don't know how tonight works, if you guys have a question at all, you guys want your question answered, we give priority to those who raise their hand and have a question. So if you guys look at the bottom right of your screen, you see a little emoji, like a little smiley face button. You can click that and it says raise hand. It doesn't work if you're on a phone, but if you're on a computer, feel free to click that. Or if you're on a phone and you have a question that you really want answered, I'd suggest switching to a computer. If you just really, really don't want to ask a question live, but you still have a question, there is a Q&A poll. You guys can post questions in the Q&A. Again, all priority will go to people who raise their hands and want to come on live. So that's just kind of the MO for tonight. Also, fair warning, guys, I have to say, it is 8 p.m. Eastern time on January 17th, and the Bills are currently in overtime playing the Broncos. My Bills are currently in overtime playing Annie. If you guys know Annie's Broncos, and they're in overtime, and the Bills have the ball, and I'm freaking out right now. So if I crumble into a heap tonight, that is, you guys will know why. So just FYI, go Bills, go Bills. But with all that being said, Maria, I wanted to start off by asking you a little bit about yourself, right? So you are, I mean, you're the newest host, right? You're not new. You've been on since, when did we hire you? August?
I think so, July or August. That sounds
Yeah, July
right.
or August, something like that. So you've been around for a while. But why don't you tell
Mhm.
everybody a little bit about, I mean, your background, yourself, I don't know, maybe your relationship status, and yeah, we'll get started.
Okay, sounds good. Well, so yeah, my name is Maria. I am the newest Relate host. I'm super happy to be here. We have a super fun team. It's been a blast getting to know Annie and Tony. So yeah, so I'm newer here, but I am originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I went to Benedictine College for undergrad. I studied theology, philosophy, and English, and I loved it. It was the best thing I could have done with my 4 years in college. So super fun. I work, part time for Relate here, Catholic Match. But my day job is working. I work remote in menswear. So I write for a menswear company and do some operations for them, and it's super fun. So there you go, a little bit
Love it.
about me. Oh yeah, and my relationship status. I am dating a guy here in Nashville. He's super great. We met here, and he's just really wonderful. It's going well. We've been dating for about 4 months now, I think. So it's a little bit newer. There you
Love it.
go.
Love it. Four months.
Mhm.
Guys, for you guys looking to enter a relationship and stuff like that. She's fresh into a relationship. Now, is this
There
like
you go.
is this your first relationship, or have you had ones before? Like, how does this rank so far in the longevity?
Yeah, that's a good question. I dated in college. I went on a lot of first dates in college, a few second dates in college, but really I it just was not the right time for me. I was really focused on my studies, and none of those dates felt right. So I have had one other boyfriend for a couple months. So this is sort of the most recent, and it's going great.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
There
I
you
love it.
go.
I love it. I saw a hand up here, Chris. I saw your hand up and then it went away. So, Chris, if you want to raise your hand, we'll get people whose hands are raised onto the show. If you guys have any questions, guys, about dating, relationships, um, anything under the sun, feel free to ask away, guys, with those questions here. While we get Chris back and while we have some people thinking of your guys' questions and stuff like that, I want to read an email. Sometimes people send emails in. If you guys have emails, you can't be here live or something like that, please send any emails you want us to talk about to Tony@catholicmatch.com. Right. So my name, Tony at catholicmatch.com. We'll get you set up with any questions you guys have. So here's a question. All right. So this is a question. This person wanted to remain anonymous, but my question how long should you date before getting engaged? Is there such a thing as too soon, or is it okay to move forward when you feel a certain way? So how long, I guess this is a good question for you, Maria, as a non-engaged person as well. I might be a little biased, but how long is too soon?
Oh, it's so tough. I think you guys might get tired of my answers tonight because I leave a lot of room for the Holy Spirit to just do his thing. I know of people who are like, we knew each other for a month and it worked and we knew. Now that feels crazy to me, but it worked for them. So um, I don't know. I think there's so much room for prudence. I think there is. I think um, you want to have enough time to really understand if you're compatible. I think it's nice to be able to see people. Usually, people say like, "Oh, it's good to see the person you're dating in every season." I think it's kind of nice, like go through a full year. I
Mm,
think it's also nice if you're able to they always say like you get to know people better when you travel with them. I think it's good to have like a trip or something where you're navigating like public
mhm.
transit, things like that, how they handle stress. So I don't know. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of room for prudence. What do you
That's
think?
very fair. I mean,
It's tricky.
the
It's
travel
vague.
thing is a good note. The travel thing is a good note. My wife and I discovered um, that we travel very, very differently. I'm the type of person who I show up to the airport 5 hours early. I'm the one who I'm in boarding group 26 and they call boarding group 1 and I'm standing up and I'm ready to go and she's the laid back type person, right? So we're very, very different.
Yeah.
It is a big deal how you travel. That is 100% true. But I think this question is interesting, right? Obviously there's no like you have to date X amount of time, right? There is plenty of room for the Holy Spirit. Um, but at the same time, right, you have to ask yourself. I think the important thing to ask yourself when you're debating whether it's too soon or not is why do you want, if you want to get married soon, why, right? Is
Mhm.
your why a virtuous why, right? Or
Yep.
is it a selfish or a personal why? Right? I think that
Mhm.
is a really, really important distinction to ask for yourself because it's a personal question and to ask for your future spouse or your future fiance, right?
Mhm.
So we're not going to come out here and be like 7 months is too early, right, or something like that. But it's really up to you and how you and your partner are doing in a relationship. I've met people. I have a buddy of mine, one of my bestest friends. We've known each other our entire life, and he's been dating this girl for about a year. And I asked him the other day, like, when is he planning on proposing or something like that? And hopefully she doesn't watch this, but I'm sorry if she does. Um, but he said, right, I'm probably going to wait another 2 years or so before I get engaged, right? So that'd be 3 years of dating, and that's he had his own reasons for that, and they had their personal reasons for that. And then I've had other friends who Maria, just like your friends, right? A month in, boom, there's a ring on the finger, right? And 6 months later, you get married, right? And so it really all
Mhm.
depends who the person is and who the couple is, right?
Yep.
Um, so don't wait just to wait. I think that's an important distinction though too. Don't wait just because it's been 6 months. So don't wait just because it's been a year or something like that. If the time is right,
Mhm.
do it, right? Do it. Um, but if it's for selfish reasons, don't do it. Don't do it. But
Yep. I
I
totally
digress.
agree. I think
Yeah.
it's something that you have to talk about with the person you're dating. Super open conversations about it. You want to
Yep.
make sure you're on the same page. You don't want one person to feel rushed by the other person.
Yep.
So there you go.
100%, 100%. That's a great thank you to the person who emailed that in. We greatly appreciate it. Guys, if you guys have any questions, come talk to us. We don't bite. Well, unless I find out the Bills lose while you're on
I was
stream
gonna
with
say,
me.
like,
Yeah.
see how this game goes.
I usually don't bite. So come
Yeah.
talk to us, Chris. I've seen your hand up a couple times. It's down now. We can't bring you guys to stage unless you raise your hand. So that's part of the reason we have you guys raise your hands. But if you guys have any other raise your hands questions, feel free to get those in. Another question though that we had an emailed in for us, Maria. It's kind of on a similar lens. Let me pull it up here.
Mhm.
Do, 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 do. So we were talking about travel, and this is a perfect transition because we were talking about travel. And this
Mhm.
person asks, um, what are your takes on traveling together before marriage? Specifically, is it okay to stay in the same hotel room if you're in separate beds, or is that against church teaching? We're both committed to chastity and don't feel like it would be a temptation for either of us, but we also want to be faithful to the church and not rationalize something we shouldn't do. Maria,
Hmm.
what do you think? Traveling together, sleeping in separate beds in the same hotel room. What do we think?
I think most people would say, like, I don't think it'll be a problem. This is something that's super important to us, you know? And then you're in the situation and you just wouldn't want to crack open a door where like inhibitions are low, you know?
Mhm,
Like
mhm,
I think it's a near occasion of a lot of things that you are trying to avoid. And I think in most situations, that's totally avoidable,
mm,
that scenario, you know?
yeah,
It's very different when there's like some crazy exception, you know, but that almost never happens. So
yeah,
I
and
don't know. That's my take. I think it's easy to avoid that situation happening. And I think even the cost part, I think it's worth paying for 2 hotel
yeah,
rooms to
as as a
not have regret.
fellow as a fellow super frugal person, I have to say, like, I understand the
Oh, I do too,
temptation. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, like, I totally get it. Um, I think I think the key here, right? Let me reread a part of the question here real quick. It said, we're both committed to chastity and don't feel like it would be a temptation for either of us. Well, if sleeping in the same room together is not a temptation for you guys, right? I think that's a bigger issue, right? Because here's the thing, right? You're obviously attracted to one another and stuff like that, right? And so it's 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 gonna be a temptation. I guarantee you, you're not as strong as you think you are. It's gonna be a temptation. So
Mhm,
as expensive as hotel rooms are, don't do it. Right? Absolutely. Like, I gotta say, like, I understand, right? Separate beds and everything like that. That's great, but you don't know how you're gonna be in the moment,
mhm,
right? You don't know how it's gonna be um, that night or anything like that. So just don't put yourself in a place of sin, right? It's obviously so to be clear about the Catholic Church's teachings, right? It is not a sin to sleep in a bed next to a woman, right? That is obviously not a sin under the Catholic Church. However, it is a sin to willingly put yourself into a situation that is a near occasion of sin, right? It is something that you never want to put yourself willingly into a near occasion of sin, right? That's like an alcoholic going to a bar and saying, no, I'm not going to
mhm.
drink tonight, right? I'm just going to go sit at the bar, right? You're
Yep.
responsible for making those decisions, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, don't don't do it. Don't do it. As Mary Alice says, right? Just don't do it, right? So
There you go.
absolutely love it. Guys, if you guys have any questions, let us know. I see some questions here that were posted in the Q&A. Come talk to us, guys. Come talk to us. You don't have to be on screen. Even if you want to turn on your camera, we'll still blur you out for the post and everything that we do on YouTube. So come talk to us, right? If you guys have any questions here, we would absolutely love to get your guys's opinions.
Mhm.
Another person on the hotel room said another person said you could also commit scandal by staying in the same room. Yet the sin of scandal is a real sin, right? And so you want to avoid the sin of scandal, right? Even if you don't do anything, right? That
Mhm.
is true. We have a question
Yeah, and
here.
just
Wait,
explain
go ahead.
really quick for people who don't, maybe don't know sort of what the problem with with scandal
Yeah.
is that it's like quietly potentially giving other people the impression that, something isn't morally wrong.
Mm,
So it's like subtle, but it's kind of like, "Oh, well, actually, if so and so did that, maybe it's not that bad," you know? And it kind of opens up the an opportunity for someone else to make a mistake, you know? So
mhm.
that's what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We have a question here. This one, let me show it on stage. Brianna, 30 years old from New Jersey. Brianna, if you wanna come on stage, we'll invite you in as a speaker. You don't have to. But if you want to come on stage and chat about this, we would love to get more context about this. But how long for someone to say I love you? How long for the first kiss? Okay. This is a fantastic question. Brianna, if you want to come on and chat with us, we would absolutely love to chat with you. But Maria, what do you think about this one? How long? Well, let's start with the first one, okay?
Mhm.
How long should I wait before I say I love you? What do you think?
It's a good question. I think you want to be able to tell the difference between, like, the early stages, butterflies, infatuation kind of phase,
Mhm,
and then understanding that love is, at the end of the day, a choice, you know?
mm,
Is it something even when the butterflies are not there, you really mean, you know? Like, you wouldn't want to I think you wouldn't wanna say it too soon when you're, like, full of all the sort of new excitement and then realize later, like, "Oh, maybe actually I don't really mean it in the true sense of the word." So,
mm.
I don't know, I would say be careful with it. I wouldn't rush into it, but
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
that's my personal opinion.
I think I bet with both of these questions, we're gonna have a similar take, right? Which again, there's no 4 months or whatever, right? There's no specific date, um, that has to be the case, but I mean, in my own marriage, right, I was always pretty hesitant to say I love you when it came to relationships. And I wasn't planning on saying I love you to my wife as early as we ended up saying it to each other. My wife actually was the one who said I love you to me first, which I still hold over her head to this day. Um, but at the same time, right? And I asked her because she said I love you maybe like a month and a half into dating, right? Now we were really close friends before we started dating, right? So it's a little unique of a circumstance. Um, but when she
Mhm.
said I
Yeah,
love you, I was really taken aback, right? Because I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. And I said I loved you too because I did, right? I didn't
mhm.
want to scare her at the same time, right? Um,
Yeah.
all that to be said, right? I think there's two things you need to keep in mind when thinking about saying I love you. Okay. It's one, A, do you mean it? Right. That's
Mhm.
obviously right. You never want to be forced into saying I love you, and you never want to say it too early or too late. Right. So
Mhm.
A, do you mean it? Right. And love is a choice. It's not a feeling, right? Love is a choice. So do you choose to love this person? Right. Um, and then secondly, again, to a lesser extent to avoid scandal as well, right? Is the other person ready to receive you saying I love you?
Mm.
I think that is an
Yeah.
important thing as well, to understand.
Yep.
So again, just like other ones, it depends on the relationship, right?
Mhm.
But that's a great question. What about the more juicy of the two questions? Well, I guess they're both juicy. But what about the first kiss, Maria? What do you think about the first kiss?
Yeah. I mean, same kind of principle, like, you gotta have prudence. Um, I think you want to have a pretty good grasp of who the person is.
Mm,
You would want it to be someone that you barely know. That's my personal opinion. And yeah, same idea that I liked your point of like, is this person ready to receive it? You know, you don't want to like catch someone completely off guard and they're like,
yep.
whoa. So, yeah, prudence. I think, again, wouldn't my recommendation wouldn't rush it because I don't know, you could, there's just a lot of room for hurt, I think,
Yeah, that's true.
if you move too.
For I'm a little more lenient when it comes to kissing. Just
I kind of
personally
agree with you.
because I mean, well, obviously more than saying I love you. But I'm of the opinion, right? Whenever the time is right, right? Whether that's on the altar or whether that's on your first date, right? Whenever the time is right, again, knowing yourself, right? Knowing that it's
Mhm,
not from a place of lust, it's from a place of love, right? And the other
mhm,
person is aware and knowledgeable of that too, right? Whenever
mhm.
is right, the Lord gives you these desires for a reason, right? And so that's what I'd say. Real quick, I know Chris has had his hand up for a while, so I want to get Chris onto the stage here real quick. So Chris from Cincinnati, Maria's old stomping ground. Chris, How's
There
it
you
going?
go.
I've had an experience what the question that Biana had. I actually had an experience with someone with the saying I love you too early part. And it was actually more the other person. It caught me off guard, and I thought, could it really happen for someone that quickly? That they actually know that this person is the one after so many failed relationships. But unfortunately, of course, for me anyway, that girl ended up that relationship lasted for about 11 and a half months, and then it just ended right before Thanksgiving this year. So unfortunately, actually, it happened to me twice in within 5 or 6 months of time with two different people.
You're a lovable guy, Chris, I guess.
Right, I know, but and the thing is, the one person only lived about an hour and a half, not even an hour and a half away from me in Lexington. So
yeah,
and then the other girl lived in just outside of Memphis, in Millington, Tennessee.
And
So
and just
wanted
so
to
I'm clear, Chris, right? You're saying that right, an issue in these relationships were that maybe the other person went too quickly,
yes,
in terms of saying I love you and stuff like that.
yes, and then with the girl from Tennessee, she also wanted a gift.
A gift?
Yeah, like, well, it was close to her birthday at the time. Yeah, and plus, and plus the fact that my mom didn't want me giving out our address as well. So
Sure.
This is making me think of kind of a good point. Is if you're in a situation and somebody like says I love you and it feels way too soon for you, I think it's good to remember that you can like, even if you want to keep dating this person, I think it's more meaningful to say like, thank you so much. I don't know if I'm ready to say it back, but like,
yep.
I want to keep dating you. Just like make it clear. Because I think a lot of people, I think tons of people are in situations where it's like, now I have to say it and I'm not sure I mean it. And it's not worth doing that, you know? So
yep. Thank you, Chris, for coming on. We have a couple other people in the queue, so we'll head you off stage, but thank you so much. Let's see who is up next. Maria, who else is raised their hand right now?
Let's see.
Mary Alice coming on stage. Wow.
Hello.
How's it going, Mary Alice?
Hi. How are you? Happy New Year.
Great to talk to you. What's
up? This falls under the category of manners and common decency, in my view. It's only my opinion, but I've sat across the table from a few guys over the past 4 or 5 years, and only one date. But they insist on bringing out their cell phones, and I typically leave mine. If I bring it in the restaurant, I'll turn off the ringer and keep it in my purse. Otherwise, I leave it in the car, in the glove box. I'm continually amazed at people who don't know how to have a conversation unless they check in with Google. Now, really. And I've listened to a number of relationship coaches, both on Relevant Radio and on YouTube, and they talk about leave your cell phones, put them away. You want to be present to the other person. So how do you bring it up to the person? One time years ago, I finally asked the guy, I said, may I please see that? Meaning his cell phone. And he did. He handed it to me. And I set it down on the chair next to me. I know. I just set it down on the chair next to me. And he looked at me, like, what are you doing, lady? And I said, please, when we're leaving here, you'll get it back. But and of course,
down the law.
Yep.
That was years ago. I haven't had the nerve to do that since. But how do you say to these guys and even women? I have a cousin over here for dinner on Christmas, and she's dealing with Google and extolling Google's virtues. I'm thinking, give me a break. So what do you do to politely say, would you please put the cell phone away? I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but it's like you're made to feel like you're the odd one for asking them to put their toys away.
I
Sorry.
I had a friend in college, a lady friend in college, who told me once that on the first date, if she saw a phone on the first date, she would never have a second date. That was the deal breaker for her, is if she saw a phone like on the table or something like that during a date, not happening again, right? So you're not alone in this, and I think it is a huge thing. I do love what you did with the let me see your phone. That's pretty
Yes,
fun.
may I please see that? I don't know where that came from, but I thought, why not? So,
Yeah, I mean, I struggled to give any advice on this except for asking them politely to stay off their phone, right? To be well, not even to, sorry, this is teacher mode coming in a little bit, right? Not to stay off their phone, but to do a positive, right? Don't ask them to ask them to not do something, ask them to do
right.
something, right? Can you be present with me, right?
Okay.
Can we have this conversation, right? Instead of get off your phone, right? Or don't be on your phone or something like that. It's can we have a conversation? Can we be present, right? The positive
Okay. That's
I
a
don't know,
good.
Maria, if you had anything to add.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about if I was in that situation. I think there would be a lot of other factors that would tell me if I thought this was a potential second date or not. I think if I was already like, I don't think this is going somewhere, I'm not sure I would even say something. I think I'd be like, all right, we're gonna wrap up coffee and then part ways.
Yep.
I think if it was a really promising date and I was like, wow, that was actually really fun. I enjoyed it, but he did kind of pull out his phone a lot to like check texts or something. I think there's a way to say that politely and just sort of, I think people don't really know they're doing it, to be honest. I think it's usually a bad intention, but it's just a bad habit. So that's my takeaway.
All right. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Ariel, thank you for the question. All righty. Awesome. We had another person on here, Andrew. I saw your hand raised. Andrew, if you still have your question, feel free to raise your hand. With this one. Let's see. What are the questions we have? There's Andrew. Coming on. Hand Andrew the mic. Andrew, how's it going?
Very good. And yourself?
I am doing fantastic. How can we help you?
Well, before I ask my question, I want to give a little. Can I give a little feedback to Marie?
Maria?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, not Maria. My bad.
Mary Alice?
Yes, thank you. My bad. Yeah, it's difficult. You both have almost similar names.
I know.
Yeah.
Mary, Maria.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I will say definitely, like, with nowadays, when it comes to phones and everything, like, it's honestly like unbelievable. Like, people, yes, are trapped due to their phone, but if someone really wants to be on a date with you, they should literally be able to put their their um their attention of their phone to the side. Like, I totally agree with your idea of taking your phone, either putting it in your purse and leaving it on vibrate, or silent mode, do put it on plane mode, whatever, or even keep it in your car. That is perfect, because I feel if the person's going to be on their phone, they truly don't have their full attention on who they're on a date with, and and there's a chance at that point that they don't truly feel interested in you, which is just wrong at that point. I don't feel it's right. They should show the respect. So yeah,
Yeah. No,
I like your authority. Yeah, you know what? Can I take your phone? Good. Yeah. Show him who's the boss.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I totally forgot to say, but Andrew, you brought it up. I would say, like, it's good to not have the phone out, right? Have it in your purse, have it turned off, something like that. I probably, for safety reasons, I probably wouldn't keep it in my car. I'd probably keep it on my person, right? Especially if it's like a
Yeah.
first date or something like that. But
That's
yeah,
important to keep in
yeah,
mind,
I think that's important to say. But at the same time, right, the same rules apply, right? Act as if it was in your car, right?
Mhm.
Awesome. What question? Oh, we appreciate the comments. Any questions you have for us, Andrew?
Yes. I am still new to my faith, and just recent this New Year's, I've been honestly feeling like feeling the flow of the Holy Spirit in me and everything,
Mhm.
feeling super happy, super encouraged to do to pray every night, which is
Mhm.
incredible. I've never had that. But like my question was, since like I'm assuming Catholics believe in basically angels communicating with us through our dreams as well, right?
Right. Like, for example, Joseph, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I've been starting to have that, like, 3 dreams I've had something like that. So my question is, when is it when is it a decent time to start opening your heart to a relationship with a woman, or of course for a woman, being in this case for a man, opening her heart to a man, um when is it the best time for a woman to do that, a woman or a man to do that, when they're just with God and everything. So yeah.
Sure. So you're saying, like, you're in the process of conversion, or you're actively converting, right, to the faith and stuff like that. And so,
Mhm.
I guess, is your question basically asking,
Mm.
when am I at a place where I can start looking for someone?
Yeah.
Once I mean, again, it's personal, right? It's to you.
Mhm.
But I don't think actively converting should be a hindrance from dating, right? I don't think it has to be a hindrance from dating,
Mhm.
right? Now, if you feel in your heart that you're not being called to that right now, if you want to focus on your relationship with the Lord, and
Mhm.
rather than your relationship with another, right? Um, that is okay, right? Follow your conscience, but at the same time, I don't think that being in the process of a conversion
Mhm.
should hinder you from pursuing a relationship. Okay, I was told to answer Fred's question because Fred wanted to come on, but he's on a phone, so he can't hop on stage. But Fred, how's it going, Fred? Nice to see you. Am I better off just not dealing with the dating game and focusing on my career and children? The online dating world kind of feels like a popularity game in some ways. I read the profiles, respond correctly, and don't get responses. Well, Fred,
Mm.
have I got something for you? You should come to Relate more often, right? Because this is not just right. This is not a popularity game, right? This
Mhm.
is if you're at a table with someone and you talk to them, chances are they're going to respond back. So come to if you're tired of right not getting responded to and stuff like that, and you want to meet people, right? Want to see their faces. Come talk to them. Come talk to them on Relate. We always do social hours afterwards and stuff like that. Um, as far as maybe Maria, you want to talk about this a little bit, like focusing on my career and children instead of dating and stuff like that. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I could be wrong. You can let me know if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you already have children. So you have a career and you have children. And so dating is sort of another element that you're, kind of deciding how much time and energy you want to devote to it. I think there's a lot there. I think you probably have to assess um, if you have sort of the time and attention for it, if it's a good season of life to add in dating, if it's prudent for your family and your situation. Um, if it's something that excites you and interests you, that's a really good sign. If it's something that you're dreading, I think that's probably a good sign that maybe it is time to take a step back and it's supposed to be fun and it should be sort of exciting and it's not a chore. So yeah, I think I would just kind of maybe set some time aside to really think about how you feel about it and sort of imagine what that would look like and if it's a good fit for you right now. I think it's totally okay to say, actually, like this winter is not the time, but like maybe in spring I'll revisit it. So I don't know. That's
Yeah.
my take.
And it's 100% okay to take a break from dating. It's
Mhm.
100% okay, right? I think Maria, you nailed it. You nailed it. You hit the nail on the head when you said that um that yeah, it's dating should be fun, right? And if you feel like it's a chore and you feel like it's something that you are not enjoying, right? Um
Mhm.
then take a break, right? It'll get fun again, right? But take a break, focus on other things and come back to it, right? It's okay um to focus on other things for a little bit, right? Especially when you have children, you have other people in your life and stuff like that. 100% focus on those people. We got
Mhm.
Mickey here from New York, one of our regulars hopping on the call here. Let's see. Mickey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing
Hello.
fantastic.
Good. My question, I guess, is um, you're spending some time with someone and having conversation and getting to meet them a couple of times, and you really hit it off, really have a great rapport, and then a holiday comes and they disappear.
Mm.
Mm.
And when the conversation is sort of like, oh no, if you call me, I'll always, and I see it, I'll always give a call back, right? And that's not the truth.
Mm.
Right. So how often, or I guess not how often, but how much give, right? Because
Mhm.
we're pretty much all adults here, right? So how much give as an adult do you give? Because at certain points, it starts almost to feel like being taken advantage of, right?
Mm.
Um, and when it and everybody's life is busy, right? But when you're the one, like me personally, I have 3 girls and I'm working, and I've when it comes to the load of time, I'm the one with the time load.
Mhm.
But it's like, and then he's just like, oh, well, I do this all the time. Okay. Like,
Mm.
mm,
Mm.
like this is going to sound horrible. Is it okay to suggest things like maybe you should handle that through therapy, or maybe you should go talk to a local priest, or is that kind of thing, like, when is that okay? You know what I mean? Like, because obviously I want to be able to be helpful and help someone grow in their faith as well, but at the same time not be taken advantage of in that respect.
Mm. Sure. Maria, do you want to go first on this one?
So I think I understand. So the main thing is like you're communicating with someone, it's pretty regular, there's back and forth, and then they just sort of drop off the face of the earth for periods of time or won't message back. And you're kind of wondering about like how much grace do you give someone for that? Is that sort
Yeah.
of the first? Yeah. You know, I think you're I think you are correct that like as you get older, that there's just less I think there's less patience for it, and I think that's appropriate. Um, I think it's kind of a childish thing in general to not be clear about, oh, actually, I'm super busy this week, or I have something going on, but I'm going to give you a call when I can, or something. Like it's very easy to,
Right. Very
you
simple
know,
communication.
not exactly. So I would say if it's very promising, like, things feel good, but this is, like, one concern, I would say bring it up with them, let them know,
Mhm.
like, "Hey, actually, like, this is something I'm thinking about." In general, if it's already something that doesn't feel like it's clicking well, and then somebody ghosts like that, I don't think you should waste your time. I think your time is precious, and it's probably indicative of somebody not being ready to, be serious, but that's my take.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree with Maria. I've said this before, Mickey, but I'll say it again. Um, if they're not willing to consistently communicate with you right now, right? In the first months of dating, when you are the most new, the most exciting, right? That you will ever be and stuff like that, right? How are they going to, how well is the communication going to be in a relationship, in
Mhm.
marriage, 10 years down
Yeah.
the road, right?
Right.
If they can't respond to a text now, right? If they can't find time to chat with you and stuff like that now, right? How is that going to look down the road, right?
Mhm.
And so that's what I'd always say as well. I think, yeah, going with Maria's point as well. If that's like the one thing is that they
Mhm.
struggle with communication, because people can struggle with communication, right? There's forgetful people in the world. If
Mhm.
that's like their one thing, bring it up to them, right? If that's if there's a plethora of other issues, or it's a major issue, right? Like they're just
Yeah.
ghosting you for weeks and then talking to you again when they're bored, right? You're worth more than that, right? Move on.
Okay.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Of course. Great to see
Great
you. Good to see you.
question.
We have next up, is it Marina? Is that how you think you pronounce it?
I think so.
Marina
Marina?
from Naperville. Marina, welcome to the dating hotline. I almost said Catholic dating show.
Hello.
Dating hotline.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Oh, this is awesome. Well, thank you for doing this. This is my second time. I love it. I don't know how to make camera work to say
You-
hi. I don't know if it's working. I tried
Okay.
to turn it on. Maybe there's a button. Look at that.
There we
Oh.
go.
Yeah.
Hello.
How's it
Nice
going?
to see you. Good. I love the app. I love what you guys are doing. Blessings and prayers to both of you.
Thank you.
For the marriage and the relationship. I guess my question is, so you hit it off, like you talk, and I know timing is different for everyone. I may be talking to someone for 3 days, it may be going great, maybe a phone exchange. I don't know. It's individual. Maybe someone within first 2 sentences is like, well, this is it, just not working. But
Mhm.
what if you're talking to someone for a couple of months and you do video chats, you do calls, and it's going well, and like you meet them and it's like, oh, I don't know about this.
Mm,
I mean, what, maybe personality, because it's very different to talk to you, oh look, we're all good with video chats and it's all great, but when I meet you in person and we kind of talk about stuff, it's like, I don't know that this is working well.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a huge thing, right? Where you get along really well over text or FaceTime, right? But in
Right.
person is a whole different beast, right?
Yes. Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, it's
Yep.
true. I will say this as well, right? You can get to know a person very well online, right? You can get to know a person
Yep.
through FaceTimes and chatting
Yep.
and stuff like that very well, right?
Mhm.
Um, if the first time you meet them, right,
Mhm.
it's awkward and you guys don't hit off and stuff like that, that's okay, right?
Okay.
Mhm.
That is 100% okay, right?
Okay.
Probably a lot
Because
of nerves as a factor.
there's
Yeah.
there's tons of nerves. It's a weird thing because it's like I
True.
feel like I know them, but I'm also seeing them for the first time,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's a very strange dynamic, right? So I'd give yourself and this person a lot of grace when it comes to the first time, maybe first couple times meeting.
Okay.
Now, if things
Mhm.
never get better, and if it's like you guys just click online, right, and not in person, right, then I mean,
Yeah.
marriage is not online,
I don't
right?
know.
And so it's right, there's something that either has to change or you have to move on. But
Yeah.
if it doesn't hit off right away, breathe,
Okay.
it's okay. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways too, because it's making me think about Mariette is another Catholic Match employee, and she was on I think last week, and she
Yep.
was saying she met her husband on Catholic Match,
Mhm.
and their messaging, she was like, I don't really know. It was like you just couldn't really tell. She's like,
Right.
we'll see. It just didn't feel super natural. And then they met in person, and it was like sparks flew. It felt
Wow.
totally different. So I think it just goes
Okay.
it goes to show that like you can learn a lot by just meeting in person. I think that's the best way to get to know
That's the best
someone
way. Yep.
when you can.
Yep.
Yep.
So, but I
Yep.
agree with Tony to not like write off an experience if it's like a little awkward at first.
Okay.
Yeah. No, 100%. And it's a right, each person is a little different, right? We just talked to a guy who was like 6 months before you meet up is too soon, and right, there's other people who are like 2 texts and then here's my number, let's meet up at the park later on today, right?
Yeah.
That's
There you
both are okay, but
Yeah.
I will say, right, the goal of Catholic Match is to get you off Catholic Match, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The goal is for you to meet up with that person sooner rather than later, right? And get to become comfortable with them, because it is a transition as well. But
Right.
yes, all that to be said, don't freak out if it doesn't work well in the first couple dates. That's okay.
Okay. Perfect. There's always Catholic Match.
It's true. It's
go.
true.
Relate.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate both of you. Thank you.
Of course. Great to meet you, Mariana.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Awesome. All righty. What's some great questions here tonight.
These are good questions. I know. And it's really nice to see people's faces. I feel like this is one of the only opportunities that we get to see you guys. So this is awesome.
It is true. There's people who have been on Catholic Match / Relate. There's people who have been on Relate for like months and months and months. And sometimes like I've never actually seen their face, right? I've never actually talked to them. I've texted them.
Yep.
I've seen their names in the chats and stuff like that. But like, it's a great way to come on. Let us talk to you, right? We're people too. We get to we get to hang out with you guys multiple times a week, right? And so we want to hang out with you guys. We want to see your guys' faces too. You get to see ours, right? And so it's always a lot of fun to hang out with you guys and to get to talk to you guys in person. I see Red has a question. Will there be discussion rooms tonight? Yes, Red, there will be discussion rooms. I will not be on them because I need to go mourn. But there will be people there. Don't worry. But yes, we will have them. Okay. Maria, I don't see any other hands up yet. So do you want to do some like rapid fire questions, Q&A?
Let's do it. Rapid fire.
Here's a fun one. Similar to what we talked about earlier. Would it be okay to kiss on the first date, or should you wait till the second? Thoughts?
I think I would caution against kissing on a first date personally, but if you're both feeling it, and Tony's like, I disagree. I don't know. I think I'm a little more cautious. I think it's really important to have a strong grasp on whether you're both ready for it. I think if you're both ready for it, then it's fine. But I think if one person is like surprised by it, not a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, I kissed my wife on our first date. So I'm a little biased, but I'm a strong, when the moment's right, it's right. The moment just happened to be right on that day, right?
And you knew her for quite a while before, so you were already good friends. So
yeah, exactly. We had known each other for a long time, and we, there was a long will they, won't they thing, but. Right. I think generally speaking, first date is pretty early, right? But like I said, I'm a strong believer in when the moment is right, it's right. But that moment has to be right for both of you guys.
Yeah. If you know the person and you feel safe about it, I think that's also really important. If you just met the person,
but
I don't know.
I think we like to compartmentalize our life, right? But I think if anyone's saying no, it cannot be on the first date. It cannot be on the second date. It has to be on this date or something like that. Like
no formula.
No, there's no formula for dating, right? If there was, we would all be married, right? There's no formula for dating. It's whenever the moment is right, right? So you do you in that sense, right? And make sure it's out of love, not lust, right? That's the key. What is the most important lesson you've learned from past relationships?
Ooh. I think you might have to go first because I have to think about this.
Okay.
Unless you don't have one in mind.
I mean, I've had a lot of relationships in my day. The first thing, I would say the most important thing, the most important trait that I look for when it comes to a woman, and when I found my wife, the thing I've learned the most is find someone who's passionate, right? Find someone who's passionate. It doesn't matter what it's about. Okay. Find someone who's passionate, right? Because a passionate life is a good life. And so right. it doesn't matter if this person is super passionate about underwater basket weaving, right? Or anything like that. Find someone who is passionate about life, who's passionate about living. That is the most, in my opinion, that is the most important trait that in a spouse is someone who is passionate and excited to be alive, right? Because this is the person you're spending your entire life with, right? God willing. So spend it with someone who wants to be here, right? Spend it with someone who enjoys life, right? So passionate people are the best people. Find a passionate person. Was that stalling enough for you to think of yours, Maria?
Yeah, that was great. I think I didn't hear a word you said. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was a very good answer. I thinking back on like a past relationship, I think a big lesson I learned is nice is not enough, because the guy I was dating was one of the nicest people I knew. I was like, he's just so nice. He's so nice. He's kind, you know, but there were so many other things that just didn't click, you know? Our humor wasn't the same. Our conversations, we kind of had different styles of conversations, different topics we were more interested in, or didn't have great conversation chemistry, things like that. And I just realized, like, you know, it was hard to end that relationship because I was like, this guy is like such a catch. He's so wonderful. But there's a little bit more than just finding someone who's nice, you know? So
Yep.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay to be brave and end a relationship that just doesn't feel right. So that's my takeaway.
Relationships are right there. Sometimes they can be great on paper, right? But if they're not great in here, right? Follow your heart when it comes to that.
There you
Okay.
go.
We will do one last one here. End on a fun note. What's the most fun date you've ever been on, Maria?
Oh, this is great. Two come to mind. One was very recent. It was in the last week. It was a surprise. The whole thing was a surprise, and we did an escape room, which I love. I think that's
Just the
so
two of you?
fun. So just the two of us. We did not win, but that's okay. We had fun. And then we went out to a really good restaurant. So that was super fun. Another one that kind of on the whole other end of the spectrum, my boyfriend is flipping a house right now, and he asked if I would help him pick out paint colors. And that was so fun. It was like
That's
the
so
most
fun.
mundane thing on the other end of the spectrum, but it was fun. That was like pretty early on in dating, and we had a blast. That's still one of my favorite dates, is when we picked out paint colors.
That's a great one.
It was
Good for him. That's a great. I could see you loving that. I've got
Yep.
two for you guys. Okay.
Okay.
These are, and both I discovered with my wife. One, and they're both super cheap date ideas. See, here's the thing. I'm super frugal, right? So you guys want a cheap date idea? Come talk to me. Here's one. Number one, both of you guys, okay, you go to the dollar store. Okay, you go to the dollar store and you say, we're going to split up, and you have to create the best date you can for $10 at the dollar store. Okay. So each of you guys have to find things that are under $10 that'll be the best date you can. And then once you guys do, you create them separately, come together, see which one has a better date idea, pick that one and do it tonight. Super fun date idea for $10. A second one, and this is a super weird one, but it's one that is so much fun. If you guys have never done it, so much fun. Get a bag of apples. Okay. Grab a bag of apples and a tennis racket and smack those apples into the forest. It's a weird one, but it's so much fun to do because you get all messy and it's hilarious. But it's also super cheap. I know it's weird, Maria, but it's
I'm
fun.
trying to wrap my head around it. I'm also picturing it. I'm like, is it dark out? Is this a daytime activity?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just go smack some apples and see them fly into oblivion. It's so much fun.
Is it going to ruin the racket? It's a great question.
Get a good racket or a baseball bat. It doesn't matter, but just have some fun with it, right? So I will
Hours
say,
of fun. Hours of fun.
Yeah, exactly. But the $10 date idea at the dollar store was my wife's idea because she loves the dollar store. And we still have, so we ended up going with her idea the first time we did it. And she got like, you can get like cute little canvases and like cheap paints and stuff like that. And so we did like a Bob Ross paint night and like spa night, I guess, with face masks. I don't really trust $1 face masks from the dollar store, but anyway, we had a fun time and we painted Bob Ross paintings, and they are
fun.
hanging above our bed to this day because they were very, very
There you
cute. So there you go.
That's so
So there you go.